Hey, we're back. We're back. Steel City Sports was back in effect, man. It's been a while, but we're back. We're gonna be back on air on PCTV, a new version of it. But YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, we're back, man. Of course, I'm Luther Dupree, joined as always. Smoking Jim is on the phone because I don't know what's his Obama phone's not working right. Claudio and Phil, McKeesport Phil is back in the house, man. Thank you guys. The link is in the chat and the phone number if anybody else wants to join. A lot of stuff to get to, but we're just great to be. Feels good to be back, man. Claudia, how you feel?
Brother, glad to be back on. It's been a while.
Yeah. Phil, what's going on, man? Where you been at, Phil?
Living the dream, buddy. Living the dream.
Living the dream. Okay. Hey, listen, it's going to be a call in as well. If you want to jump in, go to the website, Facebook, Smoker Jim. How you feel, man?
I feel great. Thank you, Lou.
All right. Good, man. Let's jump right into it, man. We got each of us have a little thing that we want to talk about. It's been so long. Try to keep it down a little bit. Starting off first, we got to go with Claudio's Huddle Up. What's going on, Claudio? What's on your mind?
I got to say, today we clinched our conference championship at Carnegie Mellon University baseball. We have a lot of things that we have to deal with. Nothing bad, as far as players being able to practice. I mean, the school demands are fantastic, but that's why they go there for the school or for the schooling, for the academics. But you know what? Our guys, next man up, and we have a saying, so what? So we can't make practice. So what? We can't always be there. So what? We're up against it. So what? We go at it full steam ahead. We won our conference, first place, and we'll playoffs start in May. And very excited to see how far we can go. And we're gonna give it hell, that's for sure. Survive in advance.
There you go. Congratulations, man. That's huge, Claudio. I know you're gonna do some great things, and just keep it going. All right, Smoking Jim, what you got for us?
Well, I tell you what, man. You and some other people are getting very impatient on the Hall of Fame legendary quarterback Aaron Rodgers. This is a done deal. It's a backroom deal. He's already signed. He can show up in a training camp and it's still okay. He hadn't forgotten how to play football. He's concentrating on, learning this offense and trying to get the Steelers, who have a Super Bowl caliber team, into the Super Bowl and maybe winning one. So don't get your hairs in the back of your neck upset about Aaron Rodgers. He's a Pittsburgh Steelers. It's just a matter of time. He's a veteran. He can come in whenever he feels like his body's ready to come in.
All right, Smoker Jim. I disagree. I don't like waiting on an old 41-year-old. If you want to be a Steeler, just go ahead and sign it. All this, is he coming? Isn't he coming? It's tired, but that's Aaron Rodgers. He's a drama queen. It's all about him. I disagree. Well, my thing is this. I want to talk about the transfer portal. A lot of things have been said, a lot of issues. I think it's great for the game. Some people were, kind of iffy on it. I think it's great. I think it gives the kids an opportunity to move. The coaches are moving around, changing places, doing what they need to do. Why not allow the players to do it? So I don't have a problem with it. Now, you do have some like Van List. She's been to 5 schools, 5 Final Fours. But hey, it's a business. It's always been a business, and now the kids can participate in it. They can capitalize off their name. They can capitalize. If it's not a good fit, you're not playing. There's issues like at Notre Dame. Olivia Miles was going to be the number 2 pick. She transferred. Now she's going to TCU. I love it. Only thing is there'll be no more Cinderellas in any sports anymore because the NIL, all the big money, they're taking the best players. And if you have a player outperforming at one of these small schools, best believe next year he's not going to be at that school. That's the only thing I don't like, but I love it. I think it's good for the game. It's hard figuring out who's who, but make it happen. So that's where I'm at. All right, and right now we got Feel Good. Phil's
Hey.
in the house. What's going on, Phil?
Hey, I'm gonna come in with the feel-good report. Now, here, what I'm going to say, a lot of people's not going to agree with, because I know a lot of you are Penn State fans. But me, being a diehard Pitt fan, I'm still going to come out right now with a feel-good report. The state of Pitt athletics, in my opinion, is going to take an upward swing. Alan Green's coming in here with a background of the NIL and fundraising. We're going to need to see what he got. He's going to need to do it quickly. But one of the things we look at Pitt athletics, we got the female volleyball and men's soccer number one. Both football and basketball did touch the top 25, but this is where the problem lies. Now, here's where the feel-good report comes. Basketball, we lost everything almost. But one of the things that we got to remember, the Final Four, every team in the Final Four almost had a lot of transfer portal people come in. Florida had 3. Houston had 3. But the crazy thing, Kentucky, they had 6. So right now it's going to be Capel. Capel's on the line right now. He got to bring these guys in, and he got to get them ready to play. So it's not over. But here's something that's going to make you say, wow, I'm excited about the Pitt football team. They're going to shock the nation. Those 2 outside backers, unbelievable. Mon Valley safety, Cruz is going to be a bad boy. And Reed, Eli stay healthy. Kenny Johnson, come on, Pitt. Pitt's back.
Always the homer, Phil. Some things never change, man. I think both of those coaches could be in trouble. Usually when an AD comes, the first thing he does is get a basketball coach or a football coach that he selected. So
let me say this, though. And that is true. This is the last year for both of them. And I'm putting it out there right now that if Narduzzi leaves, my next head coach is right there in the building.
Who's that, Phil?
Terrell Austin.
Ooh. Wow, okay.
Think about it. There was a stretch when he was getting a lot of head coaching rumors, interviews. There's no more of those interviews right now. So right now, why not stay home to a place where he was All-American at?
I don't know about that. He got to get that defense together.
I don't know if it's all his fault on that defense because
he's not a hot coaching prospect now.
Like to be honest with you, you're not going to like when I say this, but it really might not be his fault with the coaching because the way I hear it, Tolman coaches everything. All
right. We're going to see. Hey, let's jump right into it. So the off season, again, the number to call 412-530-5063. We do have a comment already. Lori Penn is in there already. Check. Thank you. Hey, everybody keep calling, commenting. Let's talk about this off season. Of course, we had DK Metcalf. We didn't get a chance to really talk about that. Of course, I give that an A. Did have to give a pick for that. Your thoughts on that, Jim? I know you talked about it on Sports Corner.
Yeah, where they don't have trouble hearing me on that Sports Corner. But I would say I love DK Metcalf, signing. I was a little surprised 5 years, $150 million. That the Steelers will pay a wide receiver that amount of money. But if you're going to pay one, that's the guy to pay. His work ethic is phenomenal. He's probably one of the fastest guys in the National Football League, and so I was very satisfied with that. Even more satisfied that they kept George Pickens to team up with him to be one of the best tandems in all of football.
Okay.
You know what's wild is that really since I've been back, I'm really starting to agree with Smoking Jim. I remember back in my first tenure, we used to go at it a little bit, but I guess the old age is really working. But I totally agree with you. But I'm going to tell you where I think DK is going to be even the most beneficial for Pittsburgh, and that's in the running game. He's a willing blocker.
Yeah, you know what? I definitely agree with that, man. Of course, A+, Claudio. I think we're all being in agreement with this.
Need DK to walk because they don't have much up front. That's why I say I've said it numerous times, Phil, that Most important position on the field, everybody says it's quarterback. I say it's the offensive line, so it can assist the quarterback, assist the running game. If the quarterback and the running game are doing well, that helps the defense. I think that they have to go heavy early in the draft for a big-time offensive lineman, and maybe even one out from the free agency, because it really doesn't matter who the quarterback is. Dan Marino, yeah, he's a great offensive line, both the Pitt and the Dolphins. If he didn't have time to throw, he's in trouble. So if they have a good offensive line, it's going to help out the quarterback, whoever the quarterback is, then he can hit. But then I think now with Metcalf, and if Pickens straightens out mentally, he's unbelievable physically. And if they use Washington better, they have Freiermuth. They have the receivers. They really do. But again, you need the offensive line. You need blocking to give that quarterback time to throw, or they're going to do that. They're going to do that real quick 2-step drop, throw it. That's not going to work. So big time offensive line.
Yeah. All right. And now the next one, I give this an A2. Darius Slay coming fresh off a Super Bowl. I think that was a powerful move. I give that an A as well. Little old, but I think it have a positive effect on a future star, Jim. Joey Porter. He can learn a lot from him. And Joey Porter's just touched the surface of his skills. Long, fast. He's just going to get better, Jim. I know you've been down on him. I was very high on him. I thought he could have gone actually in the first round. I think we'll see a drastic jump this year. Smoker, Jim, what do you think on the Slade and his effect on Joey Porter?
Well, with Joey Porter, 6 penalties in one game, touching is his main problem.
He didn't have 6 in one game.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Was it 6? It wasn't 6.
Yes.
6. Hey, listen, I said I've been watching Slade all year long. I say he's still one of the top 5 cornerbacks in the National Football League. Philadelphia let him go because he wasn't as good as Cooper DeJean. But according to Pro Football Focus, Cooper DeJean was the number 1 rated cornerback in all of football, even ahead of the guy that won the MVP of the National Football League this year. So I love that move. I thought that Steelers trotted out too many inexperienced cornerbacks who was a fish out of water last year. Now they got some experience. They got a guy with some confidence. And I tell you what, training camp, he has an opportunity to get Mount Washington back for that block to put on him.
He don't want no more Mount Washington. He don't want no more of them. Hey,
what, guys? Up in my opinion, I think he's going to be more beneficial for Corey Trice. Because if Corey Trice stays healthy, that's going to be our corner right there.
Oh, that Corey hasn't been healthy his whole college career or his NFL career.
Okay, but but that has happened.
Damaged goods, man.
I think Joey Porter. I do like him, a local guy, but they need to think about possibly taping his hands up.
All right, we got a comment. Frank Jackson, thanks for checking in. He's with us on Facebook. Wasted money to get DK with no quarterback. We'll address that. Claudia, your thoughts?
Frank, that's a good point. I like the move with Slade. Everybody says, though, how he's going to teach and help Joey Porter Jr. Now, on our great show, The Boxing Authorities, if you remember, I forgot the trainer's name, but the guy who was helping Deontay Wilder, there was no longer going to be a slugger. He was going to move. He was going to use his feet, use his legs more. And what did I say? As soon as he gets in a little trouble, he's going to go back home. Right. He's going to go back to who he was. Porter, during practice, he might not be handsy. The Smoking Jim called that from day one. And he was handsy. So that's going to be the big focus. Don't use the hands so much. Phil just said, tape his hands. Yeah, he'll do good. But come game time, when he's up against a big-time receiver, you're going to go back home. You're going to go back to who you are. And I think that's going to be a problem. He's going to use his hands too much. You just hope that doesn't cost them in a big moment or a big game. But I think Slade was a great pickup for himself. To expect him to help all these players out, yeah, be a plus, I guess, sure. but he's worried about himself. He's going to worry about him doing well, getting that next contract.
Mm. All right. Hey, we got
You know what I
Justin.
laugh about that though? They talk about Joey didn't give up no touchdowns. That's because he had a penalty instead of defending the run.
Hey, stats are stats. No touchdowns. I'd rather you get a penalty if you didn't give up a touchdown, Phil. All right, Justice Cam Diaries. Appreciate you, Darius Slay. Is a good move to me. All right, let's go to the next one. Kenneth Gainwell. I still don't like the running back position. Warren showed signs, but can he be a number one? No. They're going to have to address that in the draft. This draft is full of great running backs. I don't think they'll get their hands on Aston Genty, and Omarion Hampton is one that people are high on. I wouldn't touch anybody else in the first round. Your thoughts on that, Jim? Kenneth Gainwell in the running back position overall.
First of all, you say that this draft is full of great running backs. You mentioned two.
No, I said in the first round. But hey, listen.
I got to reevaluate your definition of great. I like Jaylen Warren. Jaylen Warren's an underrated blocker, man. Jaylen Warren, if you watch him, man, this guy can really block. In practice, man, he holds his own against those tough linebackers that the Steelers have. If he can stay healthy, which he was not healthy last year, if he can stay healthy, he can rumble. And the Pittsburgh Steelers like to alternate their running back so to keep them fresh. They got a gimmick from Philadelphia. I don't like gimmick players.
He's a third down back.
He's a gimmick. You know what I mean? So they need to bring in find another running back, whether it's through veteran free agency this summer after June, or draft one of these horses out of college that can run hard. They had a great one, and Najee Harris, they let him go. I think he's gonna run wild for San Diego Chargers.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is. One thing Harbaugh's going to have is an outstanding offensive line.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Listen, I didn't think much of him when he was here. He'll have a couple decent runs, but you see, he only got 1 year. You thought he was going to, break the bank. He got a 1 year deal from San Diego, and I don't think he's coming to a
most
big.
Running backs don't get a multi-year contract.
Well, the top ones do.
That's right. The only top, and there's only selective few of them.
Yeah. And Najee's not one of them. Like I was saying, he's not one of them. Hey, we do have a caller on the air. Caller, say your name. Where you're calling from? I think it's Sean. Is it Sean?
What's up, guys? Hey, what's up, guys? This is Sean.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, not much. How's everything with you guys?
Oh man, just glad to be back, man. Glad to be back. What's up with you, Sean?
Oh, not much. Just here and trying to see what you guys are talking about.
No, we're the off season, the upcoming draft. We all have our mock drafts of who we're going to do. That's what we're going to do next. But anything on your mind? We're also talking about the March Madness yesterday. If you had any thoughts on that.
Crazy finishes. I saw Juju play against UCLA in the Big Ten Finals, which is weird because they should be in the Pac-10, but that's the NCAA money grade. That's another story for another day. Once she went out the tournament, it seemed like her getting injured took the air out of the women's tournament. Stat told me when UConn beat South Carolina, UConn's going to win it, and he was right on that one because the national championship game pretty much was a repeat of what happened when UConn beat South Carolina a couple months ago before March Madness.
They destroyed them.
Yeah. Well,
they destroyed them at South Carolina. Destroyed them in the national championship.
True.
That's right.
This was not South Carolina's toughest team, though. They struggled the entire tournament. I was surprised they got to the national championship. I didn't think they were going to win it this year. I was actually shocked they got there. But this UConn team, they had three possible number one overall picks on that team. Paige is going number one this year, and if AZ Fudd didn't get hurt, she might have been going number one. And we know Sarah Strong is going number one in 3 years. I mean,
Sarah
this
Strong
thing
was going to be a beast. She's so
thing was
skilled.
loaded. And you know what? The thing about Sarah Strong, South Carolina thought she was going to go to South Carolina. Dawn Staley played with her mother in the WNBA, and she's known Sarah, so it was a shock. That was the key difference right there.
Let me give you a little insight on that. Couple things with the UConn team as well. AZ Fudd's mom played at Georgetown, and Sarah Strong's mom, her mom is infamous for two things. Her mom, I was in college when this happened. I'll never forget this. I stayed up and watched the game. Her mom led, I want to say, Harvard. They were the first 16 teams, men or women, to be the number one seed team in the tournament. They beat Stanford. Now, Stanford, a lot of their key players were injured, but Sarah Strong's mom, Allison Feaster, I'll never forget that game. They beat them. And then she went on, I want to say she played in the WNBA whenever season played. Now, what's the other infamous thing about Sarah Strong's mom? Unfortunately, when the Ime Udoka stuff came out, certain women in the Boston Celtics organization were targeted, and her mom was one of them. Allison Feaster was one of the women that they said that was involved with him, and that was a lie. But she's a big vice president for the Boston Celtics organization, and there's a local connect with Allison Feaster because some may not know she hired Ashley Battle from Manchester, who currently works for Boston with Allison Feaster. So why is that? Ashley won 3 titles at UConn, and don't be surprised if Ashley was in her ear the whole time. You need
Probably.
to go to UConn instead of going to South Carolina.
Yeah, that still was a blow because Dawn thought she had her. Stopped recruiting, and next thing she knew, UConn snatched her up.
Well, the thing of it too is, okay, if she goes to South Carolina, what's easier for her mom to watch games at? At Connecticut, when her mom works for the Boston Celtics, or South Carolina, in which if she goes to South Carolina, she's pretty much going to have to go down south the whole time, in which if she's at Connecticut, at least she could drive to half of the games at home.
That's a good point, Sean. That's a good point.
So that's why it didn't shock me that Sarah Strong stayed at Connecticut. And like I said, Ashley Battle working for Allison Feaster, she's probably been in, her ear the whole time, like, hey, this is what Gino could do for you. But the girls tournament, like I said, once Juju went out, it just took the air out of the women's tournament. As far as the men are concerned, I wanted Houston to win because Kelvin Sampson, I think he was given a raw deal at Oklahoma and then at Indiana. And one thing I'm going to say is this. I think within the next 10 years, Houston will win a national championship because there's a lot of money being put in that basketball. There's a lot of money being put in that basketball program. A lot. And now, you see who was at that game last night. Clyde Drexler, Hakeem Olajuwon.
Yeah, the
Dream was there.
Slamma Jamma. And they were going to let Hakeem on the court this time, unlike they did when they won the previous game. So yeah, it was hard. It was a heartbreaking loss. If you're used to.
Well, this is something that people got to realize. Hakeem Olajuwon has been a nightmare to San Antonio. Don't forget the 95 versus conference finals, what he did to San Antonio, David Robinson. So he's never going to get. Hakeem Olajuwon will never get love in San Antonio. People must be
he ended David Robinson's MVP those years. He was unstoppable, man. One of the most underrated centers, man. Hakeem is just that dude.
Yeah.
If they would have given him more help, he might have been the one we talking about with 6 championships.
Yeah, but the beautiful thing about the fact that men's Final Four, all 4 number 1 seeds made it. The other time that happened was in 2008, also in San Antonio. I'm gonna say something really ignorant. I'm glad Duke didn't win it because they're trying to push that coach Shire. They're trying to push him so badly, like he's invented basketball, like he's the second coming of Coach K. I'm glad Duke didn't win it because of that. And also,
They was close.
learn from their mistakes. They didn't learn from their mistakes this year. All their losses were pretty much the same. In the game scenario, they didn't compete.
Yeah.
They couldn't handle the pressure at the end of game scenario.
They started a lot of, they had a young, when your two best players are freshmen, sometimes you got to go through the learning process. But unfortunately, nowadays, these guys play 1 year during the NBA. Back in previous years, we'd see them lose. Next year, they come back stronger and really win the championship. But those days are over, man.
That's what the NCAA tournament in basketball is showing, that really the veteran teams excel more than these young teams. I mean, you look at the two UConn squads. Those two UConn squads wasn't young. And now, we had a veteran team win it again,
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, and I'm glad you brought that up about Florida. That guard, he played at Iona with Rick Pitino. And I guess St. John's couldn't bring up the money that Florida could have, or he may have went to St. John's with Pitino. But I guess there's a big donor. I forget who this guy's connected to. He's pretty much giving St. John's a blank check, like, whatever player you need, here's the checkbook.
Vitamin water. I forgot his last name. Out of New York. He went to St. John's.
Walter Berry.
Walter Berry. Hey, Sean, man, you definitely brought us some good points, man. We got a couple more callers, man. Anything else you want to?
One final thing. As far as the NFL draft is concerned, people pay attention to how the things go up in Green Bay. This next year, the NFL draft will be in Pittsburgh. No. I'm not even going to touch it. I'll listen to y'all. Whoever in the heck is in the Pirates public relations, they are dealing with nightmares. And it ain't even into April yet. From the Roberto Clemente right field wall fiasco to the bricks outside the stadium, Pirates PR need to do better. Because what the Pirates don't understand is that Pirates have loyal fans. But doing the BS stuff you're doing, and it ain't even the end of April, you can lose a lot of fans, and I'm going to leave it at that.
All right, Sean, man. Appreciate you calling in. We're going to try to come on a regular basis, bro. All right.
Yeah, just keep me updated on everything.
All right, Sean. Talk to you. Let's jump right in, man. Sean brings us to a couple good points. Smoke and Jim, we one of the things we were doing is our top 5 quarterbacks in this draft. What order you have them in? Because I know your stuff is all over the place. Now your top 5, Smoke and Jim. Who do you have?
Well, if that means I'm the best on the planet, I agree with that. Listen, I'll give you my top 5. 1A, Jackson Dart, Mississippi. 1B, and I'll tell you what, they're razor sharp. They're right there. Deion Sanders' son, who played at the same school as Cordell Stewart. I'm going to hold off till the end for my number 2. But 3A, Jalen Milrose, Alabama.
3. Woo.
If anybody enjoys coaching, if they're afraid of coaching, don't take him. But this is a guy that got all pro written all over him.
Jalen Milrose. Okay.
Number 3B. He's been 5'5" his whole life and still putting up numbers. So Dillian Gabriel, Oregon, Oklahoma, University of Central Florida have always put up numbers. Number 4, the boy from Texas,
Quinn Ewers.
Number 5A, Cam Miller from North Dakota State. Number 5B, 6'4", got a nice arm. He's a Southern boy. I like Southern boys playing quarterback. played at Notre Dame, Riley Leonard.
Okay.
And my number 2 rated quarterback, first time I seen him, I thought it was 1994 when I first seen Peyton Manning put a number 18 on his back. Taylor Elgirma from O Canada.
Oh.
Canada. Yeah, 6'5", big time arm. Won the Canadian Heisman Trophy this year when they played in the national championship. This is a guy. Now they play with a different size ball in Canada, so it may take him a little while to spin that Duke. But I tell you what, if you got a quarterback coach and you got somebody that you think can be the next Peyton Manning, which I think he could be, don't forget up until 2019 he played hockey, so you know he's tough. And remember that name, Taylor Elgirma, ELGERSMA, O Canada.
Wow. Okay. I you know, there's a smoking gem list there, man. Where's Cam Ward, who's going number 1? You don't have him nowhere on your list?
If there was a 12th round draft, I wouldn't draft him. I think Bart Starr went in round 15. I think that Rocky Bleier went in round 18. So if there was a 20 round draft, I still wouldn't draft that cat. He couldn't lead silent prayer, flat-footed quarterback. Yeah, I think he's going to lose the locker room before minicamp ends. No, I would not take a Cam Ward in any round.
Wow. Okay. Smoking Jim. Hey, listen, go ahead, Phil, and then we're going to go.
One of the things that you did say about the quarterbacks, like I got to keep Cam up there because just, he's a gunslinger, but up in my opinion, it's 1A and 1B, and it's Sanders and Ward. And I'll take Sanders every time because of the fact that he's a winner. His football IQ is outstanding. Okay. Yes, they say he may not be fast, and yes, they say he may not have a strong arm, but I'm gonna give you 2 quarterbacks, Drew Brees and Joe Montana. Both of them did not have strong arms, and they had enough athletic ability to run and scramble when they needed to. So I do like that. Now I also think that what's going to happen is the perfect world for Shedeur is to do the Patrick Mahomes role, is not to play right away. But I do think they're going to put Cam out there right away, and Cam is going to fold playing right away because he's not going to have any weapons if he goes to Tennessee. Smoking Jim did mention Gabriel. My only concern with Gabriel is 5'11", and just watching what Russ Wilson did, I mean that troubles me. There are some smaller stature quarterbacks, but his stature is very, very small. That Tyler Shaw, whatever show, he a lot of teams like him. So I'm going to be intrigued to watch that. But I do think that this is going to be the year that the number 1 quarterback, in my opinion, is Sanders.
Mm-hmm. All right. We'll get to Phil. We'll get to Ralph for 1 minute. He's on the line. Let me get my list. And Claudio, my number 1 is Shedeur Sanders. He should be going number 1 overall. Sometimes the name helps you, but in this case, the name hurts him. He made all the throws, played behind some bad offensive lines, set up some crazy numbers. He has all the skills you want. Leadership. He changes the culture. Look what he did at Jackson State. Look what he did at Colorado, the worst team in football, and then had them on the brink of winning the championship. Got to go him number 1. I don't know why he's sliding. I hope he slides down to 21, which I don't. One thing I do say, I predict he's going to be wearing black and gold no matter where. It's either going to be the Saints or the Steelers is who he's going to be playing for. My number 2 is Cam Ward. I think you are way too hard on him, Smoking Jim. I told you when he was at Washington State, he wasn't getting enough shine. And then when he went to Miami, he changed that whole program around. He can make all the throws. He's mobile. He's another leader. Doesn't have the greatest height, strong arm, very confident. Only thing, Tennessee destroys quarterbacks. No running game, not great receivers, bad offensive line. But he's my number 2. My number 3 is Jalen Milroe. But only 2 I would take in the first round, Shedeur Sanders, Cam Ward. Jalen Milroe, I think he's a third round guy. Jackson Dart. People say he's the perfect fit. Smoker Jim thinks he's a perfect fit for the Steelers. The offense he played in was a one read. That's not what it's going to be at the next level. He's another guy. I hope they don't overreach and do like they did Kenny Pickett and get him at 21. If they're picking at 21 and less, Shador falls down there, pick another position, get a Kenneth Grant, get a defensive tackle, or trade back and try to get in that second round. My next quarterback, I do like Tyler. I think he could be the number the number 5 quarterback in this draft. And Will Howard, you guys, didn't give him enough credit. I think Will Howard is a winner. He's more athletic than you thought. He didn't have a great combine, but he's one of those guys like an Iverson. Practice. What is practice? Put him in the game. All he does is win. He made all the great throws, did everything that the team needed to win. I would pick him number 5. Only quarterbacks I would take in the first round were Shador and Cam Ward. The rest of them wait to the third round. If you reach, it's going to be too much. Claudia, your thoughts? And then we'll get Ralph. Hopefully he's still on the line.
I'm not as well versed in the names as you guys are, but I'm going to say this. Everybody says the same guys. You can tell me there's not other quarterbacks out there who can do it. I believe there are, but the reason why they're not going to go number 1 is because people are afraid. For example, the pro scouting company that I work for, the Global Scouting Bureau, we don't care how sexy the name is or how sexy the school is. If he's good, we'll put our name behind him. But a professional scout won't do that, because if they get a guy who is 6'5", who went to a big-time college and it doesn't work, well, they blame the kid. If they get a guy who's maybe 6 foot or from a smaller or a no-name college and it doesn't work, they blame it on the scout. They shouldn't worry about anything. Go after the best player, the best quarterback, and look at the game film. Luther, you hit it right on the head about there's guys who are good at practice. Jim Leland used to say, I want the guys who are good after the national anthem, not before. Okay? So, and the other thing that they have to do is get to know that kid, get to know who he is. Don't worry about references and all that. Get one-on-one, find out who he is. But I think coaches and scouts anymore are afraid to go off the cuff. Why in the hell did, and I've said this strongly numerous times, Kenny Pickett, I never saw it. Swag, this, that, and other thing. I never thought he was going to be anything more than a so-so backup, if he's going to be that. Okay, but yet he went number 1. You have to forget about what everybody else says. And as I said before, Luther, there's an old commercial. It was a shampoo commercial, and it says, "I like this shampoo." And Luther said, and Luther says it, and Phil says it, and Jim says it, and so on and so on and so on. These guys are afraid to go off the cuff. If Bill Nunn would have done that, the Steelers would not have been the Steelers. Don't worry about what anybody else says. Trust your gut. Get the right scouts, the right coaching staff, or whatever, and find out who you want, not what everybody else is picking. I'm sure that there's a quarterback or several quarterbacks out there that the ball jumps out of their hand. They're accurate with great feet. They're good people that are smart that aren't even being talked about because scouts and organizations are afraid that whenever they announce that name, all hell's going to break loose. You don't worry about anybody else but your team and trust your gut. But I wonder if that's going to be the case.
Claudio, that was a great point. Like I like what you said too, and that's why I think Pittsburgh's going to shock the world, because if Shador is not there, and I know this is going to be a reach, Milroe's going to be their quarterback.
Not in the first round. Hey,
real quick. I like that, Phil.
Aaron said, looks like the Gateway folks got a little mixed up. You only asked for 5 names, not 10. Jim always mix it up. All right, we got JMD 0324 says Shador number 1, Tam 2, Dylan Gabriel 3, Quinn Ewers 4, and Milroe 5. Okay, appreciate that. Hey, do we still have? Is it Ralph? Ralph, are you still on air with us?
I am. Can you hear me?
Hey, what's going on, Ralph? We had the link for you too, but next time.
I'm sorry. That's all right. Don't worry about it. But yeah, it's great to call in here on the show. It's great to have you guys back on the air here on YouTube, and you know, I hope it goes a long way here for you. And I'm glad you're back on the air, guys. So you know,
Appreciate that.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to say about the Saints. I had a guy on who covers the Saints for Amped Up Sports. One of my friends in Tampa, named Ryan Neal, but he covers the Saints. You know, that's a dumpster fire down there. They're $80 million over the cap, and also they have to go into this draft and get players. They don't have the luxury of free agency. They're a dumpster fire, something awful. I mean, you know, and he brought that to our attention last night when I had him on the Sports Corner show.
I'm glad you said that because that helps us with Shedeur Fowler now. Thank you.
Oh yes, absolutely. You're welcome. Yeah, that's Kellen Moore is an offensive mind. I think he needs a quarterback. No one knows what Derek Crying Carr is going to do. So you know, and they don't really have anybody backing them up real good. So I think New Orleans will probably end up taking them.
You don't like Spencer Rattler?
That was a reach.
No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. So.
Hey, again, man, check out RW Media, Sports Corner, great radio show, great YouTube channel. Looking forward to some big things, Ralph. Real quick. So now, who do you have the Steelers taking? And did Aaron Rodgers? And do you like the Aaron Rodgers move?
No, I really don't like Aaron Rodgers. I really don't want him here. But you know what? Right now, the Steelers are desperate because they got a lot of egg on their face because they should have done something better than this. You know, there were guys out there that they just didn't bother with at all. And, you know, we'll see. I mean, he's in town tonight with Pat McAfee down at PPG Paints Arena. Aaron Rodgers is here. And today, Shedeur Sanders showed up. So it was a big day in Pittsburgh for people, you know, coming into town here. So, you know.
Did Aaron Rodgers go to that event, Ralph?
I'm sorry?
Did Aaron Rodgers go to that event?
Yes, he did. He was there. He's there with Pat McAfee. I guess they're taping it or it's live. I'm not sure. I don't know. But he was at the event because a friend of mine texted me that's there and told me that he is there. He's
a Steeler today, y'all.
The announcement is coming then, Ralph. What are you saying, Smoking Jim?
Yes, it is.
Hey, Luther.
Yeah.
Did you say Deion Sanders' son was in town?
Yes.
Did he bring Angel Reese?
Don't start no rumors, Jim.
No, Angel's with Kevin Durant right now.
Oh, man. Y'all better leave Angel alone, man. Y'all better leave Angel alone.
She's playing Kevin Durant's here.
Hey, Ralph, man. Hey, I definitely appreciate that insight, man. So we'll see. Maybe announcements coming sooner rather than later. But
oh yeah, also special Sports Corner show tomorrow on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, X platforms. We're not on the Huddle Sports Network because this is a special show tomorrow. More coverage of the draft. I have Leo Haggerty coming on from Amped Up Sports to talk about the Atlanta Falcons. I have Troy Obergood coming on to talk about the Indy Colts. And then I have and maybe one or two other guys coming on as well. Oh, and I also have Cornelius Brad Hanna from Hanna Time Podcast. He's going to talk about the Arizona Cardinals. So we're moving along here with our 32-team marathon.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. We got to check that out, Ralph. Thanks again for calling in, man.
Anytime, Luther. Thank you for having me, guys. You all have a good night. Thank you, and be safe, please.
All right.
Thank you. You as well.
All right. He frees up a lot if you want to call in. Hey, somebody else is on you, Jim. Frank Jackson says, Jim, that QB, I guess, list was terrible. Cam Ward not on your list, terrible. What was you smoking? All right. And Lori's in there. Glad you were back. I'm not a sports fan, but I'm learning to like sports from this show, SCSW. Yes, that's what we're trying to do. Appreciate that.
Hey, Luther.
Yes.
Luther, that's the same criticism when I said I wouldn't take Bryce Young and he should have been a high school quarterback guru, not an NFL player. I'm not getting no heat on that no more.
Well, listen, he had a rough rookie year, but he's better now.
Where's the heat now?
Well, Carolina's not looking for another quarterback. I think they were satisfied with his progress.
They don't have an owner, Lou.
Jim, here's what you got to understand. If they needed a quarterback, they weren't satisfied, they would have jumped back in now. He improved. He's another quarterback. They didn't give him any talent. He didn't have a line. His best receiver was 38 years old, so he didn't have a chance. But when they got more talent, he's improving. I was always high on Bryce Young. You hated him.
When his career is over, he'll be less welcome in Carolina as Neil O'Donnell was welcome in the Steel City.
Oh, man. See, that's terrible. That's terrible. Again, number to call, 412-530-50663. Let's get to our next subject. We got that one pretty much as we get ready to wrap up. The Florida comeback versus Houston. Your thoughts? Let's jump with Phil. Your thoughts on that? Did you watch the game, and what were your thoughts on the game?
I was totally upset about that. It was just. I do think that that Coach Golden is a good coach, man. You know what I mean? He kept the guys under control, and the way I hear it is that they never thought that they weren't going to win that game.
You know what? Looking at that game, Houston had an incredible comeback against. But this time, Florida fought. They had a chance to really turn it up when Florida was struggling offensively, and they didn't. The fact they really choked up on those last two plays. I don't know what they were trying to run this last possession, but it was a complete failure. Kelvin Sampson usually has the team ready, but when guys get out there, the moment can be too big. And another thing, there was they lost by 2. If you remember, early in the game, there was a goaltend that was not called. When it happened, I said, man, I bet that 2-point comes back to haunt them. And it did. It was clearly on the rim. Florida guys knocked it off, and they went down and hit a 3. That was a huge turnaround. It could have changed. Also, the referees the first half were letting them play.
Yes.
This half, it was a foul. Florida was on the foul line for the last 7 minutes, and that's another thing that needs to change in college sports. Men's basketball, it needs to be 4 quarters. There's no reason it should be first half, second half. You get in foul trouble, you're done, and you're in the penalty. It seemed like Florida was in a penalty from the 10-minute mark on. And so it just wasn't great basketball. Neither team shot well, and the referees let them play the first half. Then they started calling it tight the second half. That was very disappointing. Both teams shot poorly, but Florida pulled it out in the end. They only led for about 40 seconds, but they were the most important 40 seconds of the game. And Houston, they have to feel disappointed. They really let one slip away. But any other thoughts, Jim? Did you watch the game? This is the game with the orange ball, Jim.
Well, when it comes to basketball, I'm very consistent. Only watch the last 2 minutes. I don't know why y'all waste your time with the other. And the last 2 minutes was great, man. I really enjoyed it. That's the way I watch basketball.
Okay. Claudio, Phil.
When Calipari and Peter were eliminated, I couldn't watch it. But again, I grew up in a great era of college basketball. Not somebody had mentioned Barry, Chris Mullen, Bill Wennington, Mark Jackson, and Villanova, Pickney, and McLean, and Pannone for NC.
That was good basketball. Great basketball.
Big East was amazing back then.
Right, the Big East. There was a great special on ESPN about the Big East, and not just the players, but the Boeheim, the Thompsons, and the Georgetowns, and the St. John's, and the Patino, and then again the ACC with Valvano, Krzyzewski, and Smith, and all those guys, and then you had Worthy and Jordan. Man, it was just great. Thurl Bailey at NC State, and Derek Wittenberg, and Lorenzo Charles.
Len Bias.
Man.
Lenny Bias, all those guys.
Yes, yeah.
And like I said, you had the coaches, and now it's just not the same for me. I mean, the attraction just isn't there. Back then, man, you watch those games, and the Big East, they were just pounding each other. The ACC was more finesse, but it was the coaches had personality. The players were there for this. Ralph Sampson at the time was perhaps in the top 5 greatest college basketball players of all time. He played all 4 years. He was there for Virginia.
Yes,
so
sir.
it's just different back then. Now, I don't know who everybody talks about Flag. I guess I'm sure he is good. Or, what Phil said about this Duke coach, they're trying to pump him up. Well, you didn't have to pump up those guys back then. They were good. And it just seems like the attitudes were different. On that ESPN thing, they show when John Thompson had that Luke Carnes second sweater. You don't see that anymore.
That was good.
Yeah, or Pitino and John Thompson going at it, and then they hug each other afterwards. Just everything has changed in sports for me. But basketball, I like the guys. I go way back. I like the guys who could pass. The Magics, the Birds, the Maraviches, Tiny Archibald, or you got guys like Wes Unseld, Elvin Hayes, and oh my God, I was so Walt Frazier and Earl the Pearl. I was so lucky to watch those guys, and I never missed that. I could show you. I'm looking at a book from 1980, an appointment book that I would actually have. That's when we started getting WOR in New York. I would put down the Knicks games and the next Nets games. Never missed it. So I made a long story out of it, but I did not watch the game the other night.
All right. Hey, we do have a caller on the line. I think it's Aviva. Am I saying it right?
Yeah, you said it right. Hi, guys. I just have a question. My name is Aviva.
Thank you.
To know. So welcome. What is each one of your views on Colin Kaepernick and him being a quarterback in Pittsburgh? From my watching, seems to be a good quarterback. Vice trying to play or call on that. Thank you. I'll hang up and listen.
All right, Smoker Jim, you've been kind of quiet. Jump in on that.
Man, what a great question, man. I'm glad. It takes a beautiful woman to ask something like that. The media has not asked. Listen, Colin Kaepernick probably still got some throws left. He still moves. He went to the Super Bowl. I'm very, very surprised that he was not signed with an NFL team. Right now, there's probably too many years have passed, so they could get away with it. But that's a great question. I think that he could come back and fill a mighty role right here with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I agree with that lady.
Well, my views, his time is definitely past. He was actually in Pittsburgh at a local high school talking to some kids. That's his role now. It's sad that he, kind of got his career ended because of his views. I definitely don't think he, was ready to leave at that time. But he's not an option here, unfortunately. But I think he's doing better work in the community. Phil, Claudia, your thoughts on it?
I always liked his arms and his legs. I thought that I said that he was going to be a big-time quarterback for a long time. He didn't get hurt. As far as him playing now, boy, the quarterback position is such timing, right? But you tell me, I could be wrong. There's a lot of quarterbacks out there who he's probably better than. Like right now, I could be wrong. That's my opinion. Okay. Now, could he be a starter? Probably not right now, but can he move? I'll put it to you this way. Can he move better than a lot of second or third string quarterbacks? Yes. Does he have a better arm than a lot of the second or string quarterbacks? Probably. More mature, veteran. But again, I don't know if he'd want to be a backup or anything like that. He could still be a dangerous quarterback if he still has the legs, he still has the timing. So it wouldn't be the world's worst decision. I mean, like I said, I'm sure there's quarterbacks out there that he's better than.
Look how deep the times has changed. Here it is. He's 37 years old. But because the quarterbacks don't have to wear helmets anymore, he could still possibly play. You know what I mean? Because now we're looking at Aaron Rodgers, 41, I mean, 40 years old is a young quarterback now.
You know what, though, Phil? That's a good point. But he's a young 37. Why? Because he hasn't been taking the
wear and tear.
He doesn't have a whole lot of miles on him.
That's true.
All right.
What did I see before in the draft? If one person says something, the other one, it always is going to take, I don't want to say a maverick, but somebody who thinks on his own, doesn't worry about, and I'm not going to go into a long story about it, or pat myself on the back. I do things at our school that most coaches, 99% of them won't do. I don't really give a damn what they do. John Calipari says, coach your team. I coach my team the way I want. I played a kid a couple weeks ago that I never seen play. I never seen him play, Phil. I seen him throw a warm-up, and I seen him catch a few balls. I said, what position you play? Second or third? When was the last time you played? 2 years ago. You're playing. And he did pretty good.
All right. All right. You thought you were a diamond in the rough, huh?
What the hell? Whatever works, man.
Hey, listen. I got to start this off with a Smoker Jim on Sports Corner, our radio show. You said the Pirates were going to the playoffs. So, Smoker Jim, are they finished already? You still stand on what you said about the Pirates?
I do believe that they won today.
Today.
And I said this before. Their second best pitcher got Tommy John surgery or whatever.
Sound like excuses.
Or whatever, yeah. But I'm still standing by it. I think that they got some leadership there with Frazier. Frazier's getting about a hit a game. Andrew McCutchen is starting to come on. These guys are Cruz is leading the baseball and stolen bases. So I think I like the Pittsburgh Pirates going into the playoffs, and they could be dangerous with that pitching staff if they get there.
Oh boy, yeah. Like I said on Sports Quarter, no chance. It was over before it started, Jim. I mean, they're losing pitchers. They don't have enough at bats. Come on, Jim. Sometimes you got to take the L. And when you go against me,
they're already out the playoffs.
It's already Pirates are done already. I said it before the first game. It was over. Come on, Jim. Take your L. And when you go against me, you do that a lot. Take the L. Phil, Claudio.
I have no comments. Their goal is to win 80 games.
You know what? They're not. You said goal to win. Their goal isn't to win, because if you have Skeens is your best. I've said this numerous times, Bill. If your starting pitching is your best attribute and the pitcher is doing well and your bullpen isn't that good, why the hell are you taking the pitcher out? The pitcher, your best pitcher, Paul Skeens at 60% is better than the bullpen guy at 100%. And I said, see, they're going to lead the league in blown saves. Okay. This pitch count stuff is all garbage. Okay. Train the guys, get their arms in shape so they can take that the throwing and all that kind of stuff. They're throwing less pitches today, but they're getting more hurt. And somebody will say, "Oh, that's because they're throwing 150 miles an hour." Those guys back years ago threw hard too, and they threw a hell of a lot of curveballs, which is a big strain on their arm. Look, the only way the Pirates are going to win. Here's what I always say, Phil. Let's say me and Luther are not good at golf. One of us has to win. The baseball is so watered down. With the strikeout, there's more strikeouts than there are hits. And this is good baseball. Again, I'm 60. I grew up, I could show you pictures here in my room of Clemente and Stargell and Parker and Al Oliver and Richie. Those guys could play. Okay. These guys now strike out, home run, walk, strike out, home run, walk. So what the hell? And these pitchers, the pitchers I grew up with would have destroyed these guys today because it's hot. And nobody can teach hitting better than me. I promise you. But having said all that, if the Pirates, the only way I like the way they're running, but you can't, like Frank Robinson used to say, you can't steal first. Okay. On. Do they have a shot? They ain't making no playoffs. But I do like the fact that they're aggressive, but leave your starting pitching in. The bullpen isn't that, and then you got 6 guys throwing 1 inning. Come on. Don't mess around. If somebody is hot, keep him in, but they won't do that.
Right.
You know what? They do got a shot though. They got a shot for the first pick in the draft.
Yeah, that's about it. Hey, last call tonight. LD, we have LD on the line. What's up, LD?
Yeah, reason I was calling on you all were talking about the Pirates. And a couple weeks ago, I was listening to a talk show, and the Yankees were signing a free agent. His lifetime batting average was .299. And then they said the Pirates were signing a guy, and his lifetime batting average was .209.
Exactly.
That tells you right there the difference between the teams.
Yeah, yeah.
Batting average of .209. That's
Right.
pretty poor. And the other thing I wanted to say, when you all were talking about quarterbacks in the draft, I think Ward is number 1, Sanders number 2, and Milrose number 3. But I think Milrose eventually might be better than all of them
No.
because he's 6'2", he's 217, and he's very fast with a great arm.
They said that he has the strongest arm coming out.
Well, all of them.
Okay.
Hello?
Yeah, you're still here. Say that last part again.
Yeah, he's 6'2", 217, very fast, strong arm. That's Milrose. I think he's going to be a star. I hope the Steelers can get him.
As long as they don't get him in the first round, I'd be okay with it. They cannot reach for a quarterback unless it's Shador in the first round. Otherwise, it's a mistake, in my opinion.
The only reason why they will reach is because Cleveland will take him at the second pick in the second round.
I don't know about that.
I don't know. In college, Sanders seemed to get sacked too often. He didn't get rid of the ball enough. So his team was always
The offensive line, I play not more than offensive line, LD. That offensive line
yeah,
was
but
very poor.
sometimes you got to get rid of the ball. You can't hold it. I know he's tough and all.
He would the
Get rid of the
ball
ball
was hitting
sometimes.
his hands. He had a guy in his face, so that was my issue. So I
But I
think
just
all of
want
them
to say,
need to
I think Milrose will be the best of the group. Hey, I enjoy your show, by the way. Thanks a lot.
Appreciate it, LD. Appreciate the call. Hey, let's get this last question in. Keith Harris, appreciate you jumping in. The Steelers passed on Lamar Jackson in 28, drafted Edmonds. Jalen Hurts in 2020, drafted Chase Claypool. We had young Justin Fields to let him walk. Was it a mistake? Smoker Jim, I'll let you answer that first.
Well, Coach Tomlin really loved Lamar Jackson. Bill Rose is faster than Lamar Jackson. I gotta agree with LG.
Faster?
Yeah, yes.
This is a guy. Listen,
Ooh,
I think that if Nick
Yes, he
Saban,
is.
Nick Saban loves Milrose, and I think if he gives the Pittsburgh Steelers his endorsement, listen, all of a sudden Milrose went from not being invited to the draft in Green Bay. Who wants to go to Green Bay? He's being invited because the NFL people think he's going to go in the first round, and that may be just to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
That would be a reach.
To be honest with you, I 100% agree with you. And that's what they're saying. That is the reason why he's invited.
That would be a horrible reach. No reason him or Dart should go in the first round. And listen, you guys say he's faster than Lamar Jackson. On the field, Lamar Jackson played much faster than Milroe. I mean, I don't care about 40 times. I'm talking about game speed.
Hey, Luther.
Jim, what?
Everybody says next year is a great quarterback draft. I don't see it. Who you got next year's quarterback? They say next year's the 83 quarterback draft. I don't see anybody but Peyton Manning's nephew.
Yeah.
But they said that he may not come out because he's making more money than anybody else.
Archie Manning, I mean, we haven't seen him a full year yet, and people are already saying he's the next coming. Come on.
Nico's my number one next year.
You guys are all. Here's what they have to do, but they won't do it. Draft.
Quarterbacks, you better get a quarterback this year. I don't think that the quarterbacks next year is going to be much.
Some linemen. There's 2 quarterbacks out there they should get: Jimmy Garoppolo and Tommy DeVito. And I'm done.
Hey, but Jim, answer the question. We had young Justin Fields to let him walk. Was it a mistake?
Yes, it was a mistake.
I agree it was a mistake. I think when they got him, they should have signed him for that 5th year, and they wouldn't be in this situation, and they could still go ahead and draft somebody. That
But
was
do you know what happened though? Pittsburgh did not think he would not take their offer. They was totally 100% confident that he was coming back, taking what they offered him.
yeah.
Hey, Phil, they offered him runaway slave wages. He wasn't taking.
There you go, Jim.
All right, let's wrap up.
Yeah,
I'm off.
Claudio,
What's that?
what did you say? It wasn't a mistake to let Fields go. We're asking Keith's answering Keith's question.
Of course it was, man. And that's not 2020 hindsight. They should have. Again, it is so important to get the right guys with the right eyes and the right mind to get the right people in all sports. I mean, that's why the front offices look at all the great teams, and again, starting with the Steelers, back with Bill Nunn, or look at the Patriots. They drafted people that maybe didn't get all the fanfare, but they got the right people. Or LD mentioned the Yankees signed a guy who was $299, the Pirates $209. You got to be smart. Yeah, you can make a mistake here and there, but not that many.
That's true. That's true. Hey, fellas, man, it was great being back, man. It was exciting. I want to thank all the callers, all the guys who came in and females who came in and sent some text messages. We're going to start doing this on a regular basis. Just glad to be back, man. And everybody just have a great week. We're going to start doing Wednesdays and probably Fridays too. Got a couple other things, some powerful guests coming on. But, stay tuned and make sure you stay with what's going on. Any final thoughts, Smoke and Jim, before we get out of here?
Hung
Yep.
up.
I guess Jim hung up. Claudio, Phil?
Always great to be on with you guys. Phil, nice meeting you, and just pulling for my CMU team to go as far. Just take it. Just take it. We're
Take it
doing
all,
good.
take it all, Claudio. CMU, we wish you all the way.
That's right, buddy, man. It was nice meeting you, and bring it on home.
All right,
appreciate
all right. Make sure you check us out Wednesdays. We're going to start coming on 9 o'clock, 9 to 10, doing some other things as well. So appreciate all you guys. Peace. God bless. Have a great week.